for the Deputy Mayor.
If I could have everybody's attention, ladies and gentlemen, before the meeting begins, I'd just like to remind everybody that the meeting is being recorded and webcast. So can I ask everybody please to ensure that their mobile phones are turned off, because even if they're on vibrate, they will interfere with the sound system. And can I also ask everybody to speak only through the chair, and to indicate to speak and then wait to be called, because you can only be heard on the recording when you are using your microphone. And can I remind the people present in the public gallery that by being present you are consenting to the use of your image, because you will also be within sight of the cameras. Thank you.
Do we have any apologies for absence, please?
Councillor Leighton Smart, please.
Do we have any declarations of interest, please? And I bring your attention to notes A and B.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Mayor. I'd like to declare an interest in agenda item 16. My daughter works in Lifeline, and also my business supplies the authority. Thank you.
Any further declarations?
Deputy Mayor, I don't know if I have to declare again because of my involvement in football in the papers that are coming up. So I do declare that.
Thank you.
But I have, as you know, dispensation.
Ladies and gentlemen, the reason I'm here is because the Mayor is stuck in traffic, as is Mr Andrew Lewis, stuck in the same traffic. So we're going to go on and come back when they arrive. So we'll go to item 4, minutes of meeting of 14th of March, Audit Committee. Any amendments or... Thank you. Can we vote then, please? That's carried, thank you. Item number 5, minutes of meeting Wednesday 16th of March 2016 of Cabinet.
Yes, move, Madam Deputy Mayor.
Second, Madam Deputy Mayor.
Can we go to the vote then, please? That's carried, thank you. Item number 6, minutes of meeting Friday the 18th of March 2016, Standards Committee.
Can I move the minutes to Standards Committee, Madam Deputy Mayor?
Can I have a seconder?
Second, Madam Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. Can we go to the vote then, please?
Councillor Bill Smith, please. Thank you.
That's carried, thank you very much. Item number 7, minutes of meeting Monday the 21st of March 2016 of Scrutiny, Learning and LASCEP. Can I have...
That's why. My screen's gone off again, I do apologise. Just to move those minutes, thank you.
Second, Madam.
Can I put it to the vote then, please? That's carried. Thank you very much. Item number 8, minutes of meeting Wednesday the 23rd of March 2016 of Licensing Committee.
Can I move the licensing committees to the 23rd of March, Madam
Thank
Deputy
you.
Mayor?
I second it.
Thank you. Can I put it to the vote then, please? That's carried. Thank you very much. Item number 9, minutes of... Did we just do number 9? No. Minutes of meeting 23rd of March of Cabinet.
Yes, move, Madam
Thank
Deputy
you.
Mayor.
Second.
That's carried. Thanks very much. Item number 10, minutes of meeting on Wednesday the 23rd of March of full council.
Move, Madam Deputy Mayor.
Second, Madam Deputy Mayor.
Can I put it to the vote, please?
Councillor Harvey Jones, Councillor Phil Williams, please. Thank you.
That's carried. Thanks very much. Item number 11, minutes of meeting Wednesday the 30th of March 2016, Licensing Committee.
Can I move the minutes, Madam Deputy Mayor?
Can I put it to the vote then, please? That's carried. Thank you very much. Item number 12, minutes of meeting Wednesday the 30th of March 2016, Planning, Regulatory and Licensing Committee.
Can I move the minutes, Madam Deputy Mayor?
Madam Deputy Mayor,
Can I put it to the vote then, please? That's carried. Thank you. Item number 13, minutes of meeting Monday the 4th of April, Rights of Way Committee.
Can I move the minutes, Madam Deputy Mayor?
I second the minutes, please, Madam Deputy.
Can I put it to the vote then, please? That's carried. Thank you very much. Move on then to committee reports. Item number 14, remuneration panel for Wales. Phil? Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Mayor. As it says on page 37, the report informs councillors of the Independent Remuneration Panel for Wales annual report in connection with payments to local authority elected members, co-opted members and heads of paid service in Wales. If I can refer members to page 38 in paragraph 3.2, you'll see that last year the panel decided that given the continuing constraints on local government spending, there would be no increase in remuneration in 2015-16. And the panel has taken the same approach this year, so there will be no increase in 16-17. But I must mention here, Madam Deputy Mayor, that 32 of the 33 councillors in this room this evening are actually all agreed voluntarily to take a 2% reduction in that amount being paid to them. So everyone present and absent, bar one, have actually got a reduction on what is agreed nationally by this independent panel. Financial implications, Madam Mayor, I think, Deputy Mayor, are the important bits of the report in that the budget certainly does cover the salary levels as set out. There was this issue in respect of 2 levels of cabinet members, but that doesn't apply in this authority because we've only got 5 cabinet members plus the leader. And 5.4, the panel also took the view that responsibility and workload of some chairs is greater than others, and this too should be reflected in their salary. And again, we in this authority have said no, each chair has an equivalent amount of workload, so therefore we are paying the same for all chairs.
If I can move us back then to page 37, and the recommendations are 2.1, that the contents of the annual report be noted. 2.2, the roles of civic head and deputy civic head continue to be paid at level 3 within the approved range. 2.3, as the authority operates with a cabinet of less than the statutory maximum, the role of each executive member should be paid at band level 2, at band 2 level 1 rather, to reflect the range of portfolio responsibilities they hold. 2.4, that each committee chair will be paid an equivalent level of remuneration and the salary will remain the same as 2015-16. I move.
Second, Madam Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. Any questions? Comments? Can I go to the vote then, please? That's carried. Thank you very much. Item number 15, Regulation of Investigatory Powers Act 2000, to consider a report of the Chief Executive. I understand, Councillor Williams, you're taking it.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Mayor. And this report, it isn't the summary, it's the purpose of the report is to update and report Council's application of its powers under the Regulation of Investigatory Powers Act 2000, otherwise known as REPA. And the report, can I just point out within the report on page 40, bottom of page 46, top of page 47, where it says in the final sentence 46 that the Council's REPA policy is available on the Council's website. As a matter of fact, it is not on the Council's website, the internet, because actually it is a document that shouldn't be in the public domain, but it is available for officers and members on the intranet, which is the internal one. If I refer us back to page 45, paragraph 3.1, it just sets out the introduction there as to what this report is all about, and in fact you will see by going over the page on page 46 that there are sort of two forms of surveillance. There's direct surveillance and there's covert human intelligence. And the report at paragraphs 4.2 to 4.5 set out a number of circumstances in which we've used directed surveillance over the 2 years from the 1st of April 2014 to the 31st of March 2016. And the figures are low in terms of the number of times we've used the powers, but you can see that in 14-15 on paragraph 4.3 that we used the powers on 6 occasions for benefit fraud and 2 occasions for trading standards. Sorry, and 1 occasion for trading standards during an investigation into illicit tobacco. And in April 15 to March 16, the numbers were actually lower again. The numbers again cover 2 occasions of benefit fraud and 2 occasions of trading standards having used the powers. The report at paragraph 5 also deals with the Council's use of what's of our powers to intercept communications data. And you will see at paragraph 5.3 that between January 15 and 31st of December 15, we actually used that power on 2 occasions, and they were applicable to the Trade and Standards Department. Madam Mayor, I assume members will have read the report, and subject to questions and comments, I move the recommendations on page 45 that the Council's use of its powers under the REPA for the period of 1st of April 14 to the 31st of March 16 be noted. I move.
Second.
Any questions? Comments? Can I put it to the vote then, please? That's carried. Thank you very much. Item number 16, Change Programme Project Report number 5. Councillor Williams, I believe you've taken it.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Mayor. The items in this report, and indeed the next one as well, which is Project Report 6 on agenda item 17, have been discussed and agreed earlier on today in Cabinet, and subsequently then following Cabinet, we had a joint meeting of the Audit Committee and the Scrutiny Committees, all the Scrutiny Committees of the Council. So in effect, all members of the Council have now had an opportunity to go through the attachments to the report, which run into a huge number of pages, and they're all business cases, and they've all been discussed fully by members. So I don't intend to go through the report tonight, because clearly members will have had the opportunity to go through it. And I thank the scrutiny this afternoon for their comments. It was a valuable session. Thank you. So the recommendation on page 50 is that the Cabinet recommended income management cost recovery policy be approved. Excuse me again. 2.2 that the Cabinet recommendation additional income generation opportunities for £611,000 be approved. I want to add to that, with the exception of green bulky waste, which will be deferred for 3 months. Happy with that. And there's a new, sorry, there isn't a new 2.3. I was going to add a new 2.3 because this afternoon the scrutiny very usefully asked in respect of taxi licensing whether we should be looking at increasing taxi operators' licenses. Subsequent to that meeting, ladies and gentlemen, the Trade and Standards Department have been working on the issue, and as far as we can see, there's such a low number of taxi operators, and in fact we are covering the costs within that fee that it would be inappropriate to increase the fee, because one of the rules is we can't actually take more of the people than actually it costs us to deliver the service. So there will be no increase because we are covering the cost at the moment. So I hope members are satisfied with that response, and therefore all the other business cases were approved, and those that were turned down were suitably discussed. So subject to any questions or comments, I move the recommendations.
Second, Madam Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Chair. Just for clarity, and it went through my mind earlier this afternoon, with regards to 2.2 and the figure of £611,000, was that included in the overall figure that was mentioned of possibly £2 to £3 million? So I just wanted to see that it wasn't sort of double counted.
The target for the income workstream was £2 million, certainly over the first 2 years, and the figure that's there now is £611,000 plus the £511,000 in the next report, what's been identified as deliverable against that £2 million. So far, in a full year, we look to be recovering £1.1 million of that target, so we've still got a £900,000 shortfall to recover. That's been worked on, and if you want to ask about this year, the delivery of savings this year actually isn't going to be much shorter than the 611. We're talking around about £550,000. So in terms of the delivery, I think we should be fairly confident that we can deliver a large part of the income. Madam Deputy Mayor, can I add something which I forgot to raise with scrutiny, and I should have again raised this evening? The Older Persons Commissioner, Sarah Roshira, has written to all authorities in a letter in February saying that whenever we are looking at any proposals for change or for introduction of charges or dropping of services or whatever, that there must be an equalities impact assessment carried out at the very early stage. That means that for works that should be doing here, the future should be that before even Cabinet discusses it, there should be the opportunity for each of the business cases to have an EQIA, which is short for Equalities Impact Assessment, EQIA. So each of the business cases should have that, and possibly then the route of how we discuss the business case with the equalities impact in it might be changed slightly, in that perhaps scrutiny might want to look at it before Cabinet looks at it, because that is part of the bigger consultation process which the Older Persons Commissioner is looking at. At this point, all I'm saying is I'm advising councillors of that fact that we will be asked by the Commissioner to be improving our way of looking at the effects upon older persons, and I think there'll be some work done by officers in the meantime, but I believe that she's coming to visit us in a couple of months, so obviously we need to get our act in order in order to move things. It needn't be a recommendation, but it needs to be in the minute. Can we actually minute the fact that I've said that? Gareth, you want to come in on this?
Madam Deputy Mayor, there's a couple of issues here. Apart from the Equalities Impact Assessment, with effect from the 1st of April this year, we're also covered now by the Future Wellbeing of Future Generations Act. And in making any decision, this authority has to take into consideration the 7 wellbeing goals which are set out in the Wales We Want, and the 5 principles that are set out within the Act as well. It is interesting, we were discussing it yesterday as certainly a senior management team with the performance team. There will be training rolling out very shortly, not only for elected members, but also for the senior managers of the authority, the supervisors and team leaders. And again, the Future Generations Commissioner is coming up to the authority in June, so we'll be Commissioner overload shortly to ensure that we're complying with the Wellbeing of Future Generations Act and adopting it in regards to our reporting procedures. What's being proposed is, as with the EQIA, and again ensuring that we hit our single integrated plan agenda, that the Future Generations principles and objectives will be set out as well. So we will have to justify the decisions we're making.
Sorry, Madam Mayor, Deputy Mayor, can I just add to it that there is a special council workshop on Wednesday, the 11th of May at 5 o'clock till about 6:30, covering both the acts, that's the Social Services and Wellbeing Act and the Wellbeing of Future of Generations Act. Certainly, as far as this side of the council chamber is concerned, we would expect all our members to be in attendance, unless, of course, there are some very good reasons why not, because they are of such importance that members need to be here for that workshop on the 11th of May.
Any further questions? Councillor Jones?
Just to be sure, Madam Deputy Mayor, what we've done so far then, and what the work of the Scrutiny and Audit Committee this afternoon, do we clearly comply with all the legislation that's on the statute book and the Older Persons Commissioner?
The answer to that is yes, because at this point in time it's a letter and guidance from the Older Persons Commissioner. We obviously need to ensure that from now on inwards we actually look at the bigger impact.
Any further questions, please? Any comments? Can I put it to the vote then, please? That's carried then, thank you very much. I've only been keeping the seat warm for the main man, and he has arrived.
Madam Mayor, before you start, can we just do the vote on agenda item 17, because it's the same thing we just talked about. So just take the vote on the recommendations on page 192, 191. Sorry. Can we just take the vote?
Right. I'll take the vote then on agenda item 17, Change Programme Projects Report 6.
I think somebody needs to formally move the recommendation. I move. Thank you.
No questions? Comments? Right, we'll take it to the vote then, please.
Councillor Roberts, have you voted? You weren't in the room, that's fine. Thank you, that's carried.
That's carried, thank you very much. Am I dismissed now, please, Councillor Williams?
Firstly, apologies for my lateness. I was in Cardiff, mayoral engagement, and got caught in traffic on the way back. Thanks to Margaret. That was just a brief taste of what you got in store in a couple of weeks' time. So we'll now go to item 18. No sideways policy, enforcement procedure and removal of discretionary early payment discount. To consider a report of the Corporate Director Place and Transformation, and Councillor Dave Jones is to take this.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Don't vote yet. We currently employ a 4-stage no sideways policies as shown at 4.1 in the report, with stage 4 being a £100 fixed penalty, which is reduced to £60 if paid within 10 days. The recommendation within this report is that the first stage, red tagging of the bin, be removed from the policy and go straight to the red tag and a warning letter. This will provide a quicker solution to the issues mentioned in the report and enhance the Council's message that depositing unsorted waste and apathetic attitudes towards recycling is no longer an option. It will also free up recycling wardens' time to focus on hotspot properties and areas, awareness raising and engagement projects in line with national behavioural change campaigns. It's also requested that Council agrees the removal of the reduced penalty for this offence in order to maximise the deterrent to householders who continually fail to comply with the Council's required presentation of waste for collection. Subject to any questions or comments, I move the recommendations at 2.1, 2.2, 2.3 and 2.4 on page 226 of the report.
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Have we any questions? Any comments? Thank you. I'll put that to the vote. And that's been carried. And so we go now to item 19, Merthyr Tydfil Local Development Plan 2006-2021 to review report, to consider report of the Corporate Director, Place and Transformation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, members will recall that Council adopted the current Local Development Plan, or the LDP, in May 2011. And as required by statute, the plan has been reviewed annually since then, resulting in the publication of 4 annual monitoring reports, with each report assessing the extent to which the LDP's strategy, policies and development sites are being delivered. Also, Mr. Mayor, in order to ensure that there is a regular and comprehensive assessment of where the plans remain up to date, the Council is required to undertake a full review of the adopted LDP at intervals not longer than every 4 years from the date of adoption. So a review commenced in May 2015, and that review has found that whilst many aspects of the LDP are functioning effectively, the plan's development strategy is not currently being delivered, and there's probably a few reasons behind that. You look at the recession, austerity measures, and to be fair as well, probably we as a council failed to strike a right balance between aspiration and reality. Overall conclusion of the review report is the findings of the preceding annual monitoring reports, together with this review, indicate that a full revision procedure should be followed in preparing the replacement LDP. The review report is now placed before Council for approval of its contents and to commence work on preparation of the replacement LDP following the full revision procedure, which is procedure followed is broadly the same as the preparation of the current plan, and it involves the preparation of a revised preferred strategy and deposit plan, and it will have to be examined by an independent planning inspector. Financial implications are outlined in section 6 of the report, can be met within the department budget for this year and next year, but additional funding will be required for the years 2018-19 and 2019-20. Mr. Mayor, I move recommendations. What their numbers are? Sorry, 2.1 and 2.2 on page 232.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Any questions? Councillor Jones?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. With regards to the timescales involved of producing the new plan, I'm just wondering when the start and end dates would be, and what would happen in the interim period. And secondly, second question, in terms of the finances required for this, the £120,000, is that available, and what source will it come from within the council?
Okay. In terms of the preparation of a revised local development plan, the first step is to prepare a delivery agreement, and that delivery agreement will be brought before council for approval and then agreed with the Welsh Government, and the delivery agreement would set out the timetable and all the stages that we would follow in preparing the plan. In terms of agreeing the delivery agreement, we'll probably be looking at the autumn to agree that with the Welsh Government, and then in terms of adoption, we're probably looking at around the end of 2019. It's quite a lengthy process in preparing a local development plan. As been mentioned, the key stages, there's a preferred strategy that has to be prepared, and there's pre-consultation involved in that. And then after you go on consultation with the preferred strategy, you prepare the deposit plan. Again, that goes on public consultation, and then that's taken to an inspector who independently examines the plan, and then finally you get the plan adopted. So it's quite a lengthy process, and we're looking from 2016 to the end of 2019.
Come back on that aspect in terms of what happens. I'm assuming things don't come to a grinding halt while it's being developed. What happens in the meantime?
When you say come to a grinding halt, in terms of the existing plan or preparing a new plan? Because obviously things haven't come to a halt because we're preparing a new plan, and all the key stages that we go through in preparing that takes that amount of time. So it will take until 2019 going through all those stages. So nothing is stopped. We're preparing the new one.
Mayor, the answer to the question is the existing plan remains in place. So all decisions are made in accordance with the existing plan until it's superseded by a new plan.
And to a grinding halt, and that's answered my question, Chief Executive. Thank you.
And to deal, Councillor Jones, with the financial side of it, as you know, we work on a 4-year medium-term financial plan, MTFP as we call it. Certainly 2016, 17, 17, 18 are fairly well covered. Just to remind you that in 16, 17, the current financial year, we have to find £4.079 million, and in the following year we're going to find another £5 million. And then when we move into 2018, 19 and 2019, 20, we've got another £10 million over the 2 years. So in 4 years we've got to save £20 million. Councillor Jones, I'm sure when we're revising the MTFP, which is a living document, so it's revised year on year, when we come to worrying about the detail of 18, 19, the £60,000 impact compared to the £5 million that we're going to find will certainly be accommodated in some shape or form.
Any further? Councillor Chapman. Councillor Richard Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. 4243 on pages 232, 233. 43 in itself is fairly explicit and easy to understand in terms of the fact that we've only delivered 10 point whatever it is sum of office space, but I'm a bit confused by 4.2 in that if we don't have this plan, why does that leave us open to speculative housing development? What is it within the failure of the plan that would allow somebody to come in and, I presume, build houses where they shouldn't or can't?
In terms of making a decision on a plan application, obviously take into account the local development plan and also national planning policy, and it's explicit in national planning policy that local authorities should maintain a 5-year land supply. So if you don't have a 5-year land supply, as part of the material consideration in determining that application, you you have to take into account that you don't have one, and then afford weight in respect of a new development, a speculative development coming forward. So it's the balance between your local plan, which is still a consideration, against that requirement in national policy which says you must have a 5-year land supply. If you don't have a 5-year land supply, you must afford weight to speculative developments, housing developments, which also have to be considered in accordance with the plan.
Any further questions? Any comments? Councillor Chaplin?
I welcome this recommendation. I've waited 4 years for this. I'm not going to go over old ground, but I'm quite prepared to assist the planning department in reviewing this plan, as I've done in the past. I'll be retiring in a year's time, so I'll have plenty of time to help you.
Any further comments? Okay, I'll put this to the vote.
Oh, gone again.
And that's carried. We move on to item 20 to deal with other urgent business or correspondence. I have none. And item 21 to receive communications from His Worship the Mayor. Only again to say.
Mr Mayor, obviously, as Mr Lewis is unavailable and obviously is travelling a little bit further than yourself from Cardiff, but he would have had to come along the M4 and up the A470, and we understand he was stuck in traffic. We will have to rearrange the presentation, so I'll make contact tomorrow to rearrange that date for council.
Yes, sorry, we'll go back to 21. Receive communications from the Worship the Mayor. I have none, apart from, again, apologising for my lateness. And thank you, and good night.